have owned my G80 M3 for about 6 months now, and every day I am so thankful that I get to walk outside and see it in my garage. Well, now I have to crutch out to see it in my garage. But anyways, I'm blessed to be able to own this car in my 20s. But there are a few things that I think you should know. I haven't been entirely clear about what it is that I do to afford this car. I've been all over the place with my uploads and switching cars very frequent. I bet you're wondering what on earth is going on with my channel. Cars I've featured on the channel directly are not even actually all the cars that I've owned over the past 2 years. In this video, I'm coming clean about what's been going on. Story time. So you're probably wondering, what? You've had several other cars that you haven't told any of us about? Yes, that is true. In fact, I had a BMW 335, I had a BMW X3 M40i, none of the cars which I shared on the channel. This was during and after my debt payoff period, after I sold my F30 340i a few years ago. And I'll be honest with you, even though I paid off all of my debt, I am honestly regretful that I sold my 340i. I was truthfully convinced that I didn't deserve my 340i because Dave Ramsey said so. So I basically went on a debt payoff frenzy. I sold the car, as you know, and I basically penny pinched every nickel and dime for about a year period until I paid off all my debt. And even after when I paid off my debt, I still didn't think that I had enough, which was far from the truth. So when I bought my F80 M3 about a year ago, I still thought that I didn't have enough money to keep. And that led me to start renting my cars out on Turo because I thought that it was illegal for me to have to pay a car payment. So essentially, I've been renting my F80 M3 and now my G80 M3. In retrospect of all that, I realized that I really wasn't all that short on money. I just couldn't have enough of it. So in my mind, I had to make a choice. I had to either sell my car or start renting it out. It was a honestly unnecessary ultimatum that I gave myself. So fast forward, I'm renting my cars out on Turo. At this point, a year ago, I was renting out my F80 M3, and after I saw the success that the business had made, I went out and I got an X3 M40i to rent as well. Throughout all of that process, I honestly forgot how much I loved actually driving the car. It turns out that I didn't really care too much. So running from rental to rental was absolutely exhausting. My fiance was absolutely going crazy from how much I required of her to help run this business because I always needed a ride from a drop off, and it was just getting complicated. I also tried making more videos in the house, and a lot of those videos actually were pretty successful on YouTube. I got some of my most views ever just by making videos inside the house, but I was so bored. So fast forward to now, throughout that process, I learned a few important things. I think the biggest thing of all of that was money is not the most important thing. I made every single decision during that time period based on how much money it would bring me in. I wasn't even enjoying being a car enthusiast. I started to realize that society's focus on money had actually become quite toxic for me. If you're into cars or any other types of like expensive hobbies in your 20s, I think you have to decide whether you want to be into cars or you want to be fully into finance. If finances are your thing, that's fine, that's great. I think it's good to be financially, set. But if you're into cars, I don't think that can necessarily be your goal. You can be financially stable into cars, but I don't think you can make financials your goal if you want to be into this type of stuff. Trying to focus on finances and my car hobby made me absolutely miserable because I don't want to rent cars for a living. I want to drive them and I want to work on them. I got caught up chasing money trying to do my passion as a car enthusiast instead of just trying to do my best to help people as a car enthusiast. I realized that money is kind of like an endless pursuit. It's like a rat race and you'll just be chasing it and chasing it and chasing it. You have to do first and foremost what makes you happy. You focus all of your life on trying to be rich. I can tell you, you will be empty at the end of the day. However, if you focus on adding value and making a difference in people's life and caring for people, it'll go a lot better. This is completely off script, but recently I just was injured playing basketball, and now I found out that I may be in a brace for the next 6 to maybe even 8 weeks of my life, and I won't be able to do much. I won't even be able to drive, and that's just so eye-opening to me. It doesn't matter if I have $1 million in the bank. It doesn't matter if I have like $0 in the bank. I can't do anything. I can't drive my car. And I think so often, so many of us forget that, like, without our health, without the simple things in life, there's nothing that we can do. This car, my G80, is going to sit in my garage probably for the next the next month and a half, 2 months, maybe even 3, just collecting dust because I can't drive it because my health's out of whack. It's a really big eye-opening revelation, guys. And with all this happening and some of the revelations I've had over the past summer, I realized my focus now is to help all of you guys as much as I can with this car. I know that I'm gonna be out and hurt, so I'm gonna do the best that I can in a brace and with my wife taking care of me to do how-tos on this car and do some installs for you guys. I'm gonna bring this all back around to say, the honest truth is, I don't think I was ever able to afford these cars or any of the cars that I've owned. Society or common logic right now says that I should be first buying a house and putting every single cent that I have into investments right now, but that's just not the case. Now, that's not to say that I'm not investing or I'm hoping and planning to own a house in the future, but those things are just not my top priority. It's clear that society says people our age shouldn't be into expensive cars like the G80 M3, but society and the world is not my boss. I believe my life calling is working on cars and sharing my love of these cars with you guys here on YouTube or in person or anywhere else. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen. Will it work out? Honestly, I don't know, but I'm gonna try my best to do it. Anyways, guys, I hope that this video inspires all of you. I hope my story speaks to you, to tell you basically, chase your passion, don't chase money, do what you love, guys. If you're interested in more G80 M3 content, please go and check out my previous video where I talk about why the G80 M3 generation is the best M3 generation to date. We'll see you in the next one.